Om Shanti and welcome back to an all-new episode on Light of Knowledge International. Our topic of discussion today is time to change. Socrates, the famous Greek philosopher, said that the secret to change is not to focus our energy on destroying the old, but on building the new. Change is such a common word, yet people are afraid of change. Everything changes in nature, constantly. We change. So let's take this discussion up further with Brother Michel Simon, who's back with us in our Godlywood studio. Brother, welcome back, and we look forward to having a great discussion with you on this topic.
It's always a pleasure for me, yes.
As we mentioned, the topic for discussion is time to change. And change is such a big word. It can encompass everything in life. But what I want to start off by asking is, change normally involves giving up something. And for a lot of people, that's very difficult to do. How do you look at that?
For me, anyway, it's giving up something which is useless, wrong, negative, which is meaningless, and which is harming, damaging, So, but obviously, you are ready to make to get rid of something only, and as you said, the word of Socrates, only if you have something better to substitute or to replace what you want to get rid of, But unless you don't have something else which is better, then it's very difficult, because then you create an empty space,
Right.
and you have to fill the empty space,
Very well said, because unless we have something more positive to look forward to than what we are leaving behind, that's where the difficulty and the fear comes in. Is that the same reason why people fear change?
There is the fear of newness, because lack of self-confidence, they are not sure if it will work, they are not sure if they can maintain it, But for me, I have, let's say, not a methodology, but at least a thought which will allow you to go into your change easily, And it's from both sides, what you have to get rid of and what you have to achieve new. If for what you have to get rid of, you find all the negative reason why you should stop it.
That's perfect, yeah.
Because more reason, more it gives you the power and the will and the clarity to say to yourself, I really have to stop it, for bad habit. And obviously, when you have already want to create a new habit, you have to find all the good reason and the benefit of it, for why I want to do it, why it's good for me to do it, And more reason you find it, more it's create the motivation, the desire, the enthusiasms, the will to make it there, because finally, and in fact, more you find reason, it means that you have more knowledge about it.
Right.
And when you have knowledge about something, it's like you appropriate that things, And when you appropriate, it's not so new. It's something which is part of you already.
Okay, that's a very good point that you made. It's already a part of you. You're talking about what we are looking forward to in the future. It's already happened. Is that the kind of explanation that is appropriate in this matter?
What do you mean, but it's already happened?
Like if we are looking forward to some kind of change in our life, and if we visualize that it has happened already.
The thing is, if you visualize it, it means it's part of you. You are easy with that. You feel comfortable with that, And anyway, for me, the right visualization is when you understand, what you want to become, and if you understand, means you have proper thought about it. So it means that you have already the mechanisms of thinking to reach the point of your visualization in a practical reality for yourself.
Right.
So it means that you have everything to make it. It's like you start to learn to drive a car, and you go to a teacher and you teach and you drive, but at some point when the teacher is say no, drive alone, you are fit for it, you know? And that is all the visualization and understanding, and the reason is like having a teacher with you, and you are your own teacher, so that at some point you can make it.
That's very true. But there are times when we are looking to change externally. And in this day and age where people are so caught up in their own life, in their own lifestyle, most of the change, when we use the word change, people are referring to the external change, such as maybe losing weight or changing their jobs. Is there more to change than just the external change?
Yes, for sure. But maybe it's good to start with the external change.
Okay.
Because it's create already the idea, the concept, the awareness of changing.
Okay.
So you are already in that, in that feeling, in that, surrounding, in that atmosphere, you know. And anyway, if you lose weight, it will change your way of thinking. You will feel totally different in your body, and by feeling different in your body, you will think in a different way.
That's a very good point, because there's the mind-body connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the same, if you change a job, even to change a job, it means you have learned. And for me also, if you really want to change, the most easy or most natural, and comfortable process to change is by learning. Because learning is creating newness and is refreshing the mind and the brain, and it's some change. It's a natural change where you are in total security.
Can you explain that more? Change by learning, what does that mean?
Well, in a simple way, you can take any profession, can be chemistry, can be art, it can be sport, but if you want to change something, it means that you learn about, what it is, how it is, and what I want to say is change is connected with newness. Learning creates newness.
Okay.
So learning, newness, changing, it's a family of words of thinking, So then, and it's very comfortable because learning, you just sit, you take your book, your video, your teacher, you just listen and you learn and you write and you think about it, you meditate about it, and you are in the process of change,
Right.
And that is why when we say about changing the self, it starts by changing at least one thought. We are the creator of our thought, so it starts with changing our thought, So that is why if people change a job, because changing a job means you have learned something new, you meet some new people, a new situation, a new context, circumstance, new challenge, So they understand that life is change, and maybe at some times, and they will see if the self is not appropriate with their own habit in the new circumstance and situation, they will understand that they have to change their habit as well. So the change becomes part of their life. And if by chance they understand that you can change more deeply, because you have the superficial change of changing your personality of this life, and you have the change of changing deeply inside, all the sanskars, the memories of many births and past births, which is totally different.
It is totally different. Before we get into that, I want to touch one aspect of change. Most of the times, people expect others to change. And, I don't like my job, I want my boss to change. I don't like my spouse, I want another life partner. So why is it that people are expecting the other person to change and they are not willing to put in the effort that's required to change themselves?
Yeah, because you have many words to explain that, First you have the resistance of your habits. You have the inertia, you don't have the will, the energy, the motivation, the reason. You have the blockage, your own blockage, You have your own barrier. You have your own ego, which is attached to a way of functioning and which creates your own limitations. So you have just a very limited perception of the situation, which for the one which has the ego, he will think life is like that. The situation should be like that. With my wife, we should live together like that, life is like that. But what I want is never like that. It's a big difference. I have to understand how to use the word like that. life is like that means no matter what is happening, it's like that. It has to happen like this. It's part of life. It's part of the reality. I cannot change it. I cannot go against it. It's like that. And that is why, and we say like that because life is always changing. It never changed for the best for us as an opportunity because it looks like terrible, difficult, opposition, big too much challenge or whatever it is. But the only way to face and to be part of the reality, the only way is to say it's like that. But for my own desire, I cannot say it should be like that. I cannot say.
Okay.
The one which has the ego think like that. He say it should be like that.
So it's basically what you're referring to is acceptance. I mean, when we say it's like that, we have to be able to accept what is the isness of the situation. Is that correct?
Yeah, behind everything, any power, any value, there is systematically the understanding, which means it's because I understand life. Because by understanding life, I can say I accept life. But if there is no understanding, I will say why it's like that.
When you say understand life, that's a very important and deep topic, I think. Understand life. I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say when you say understand life. When we understand life, the same thought comes to me is understand the isness of things, like life is, and we just accept it the way it is. Would that be correct?
Yeah, because, as we say, we cannot control life. And life is made of the situation, of the activity of 7-8 billions of people in the world today.
All their thoughts are in the atmosphere and are affecting us.
And their thoughts, their words, their activities, their work, their creativity, And, what is going on in the international level impact your president, the president of each nation. Based on that, he creates a new statement, a new law, which is creating new situation, new tax maybe, and which comes to me. For example, it's just one way, But your boss is waking up, with a headache in the morning, so he cannot tolerate no one in the job, so he fire out everyone today, No, it's like that, it's because there's a reason, and each one, every morning, no one wake up in the same way as yesterday's morning.
True.
And because of that is impacting today. I mean, that is just one reason.
Right. If I have to bring peace in my life, I have to understand life. And I really like that word, understand life. I would like you to elaborate on that a little bit more.
Okay. No, as I say, in a very simple way, not to go in too much detail, but to understand life is to know that every moment can never be the same as yesterday, or even the second before, even that,
Okay.
So even that. So I can be sure that what I can expect in 1 hour time will be something which I don't know.
Okay.
But the thing is, the goodness of that is knowing that, and I can prepare myself, and also let me learn from the past and let me learn from the present. Maybe, okay, a situation comes to me which creates me difficulty. I cannot, fight with life because life is much stronger than me. Life will never die. I may die, but life will never die. Okay. I cannot kill life. Right. People can kill me, but I cannot kill life.
Right.
So once I know that I have to respect life, no matter how bad it is, which looks bad, because it's not bad.
Right.
I mean, spiritually speaking. My way of seeing, my way of understanding, which is wrong, obviously, because if I think something is bad, I feel bad, I react bad, I think bad, so everything is bad.
Right.
So everything is bad, so we go nowhere with that,
Right.
Okay. So then when something looks bad for me, which is not, in fact, then, and if I feel bad about it, it means, and I take something bad from that, so then let me check about me, what is missing in me, what I haven't understood about myself for dealing in the proper way, to not feel bad about something which is bad, which looks bad, you know. And if I have learned that, and I have and imbibing that in my life, then I have learned, I have changed, and I'm more equipped, you know, for the future. But obviously, the future will always show me something more.
Definitely.
But it's good. It's very good, because if the future always show me the same thing, you know, I will never learn. I will never progress. You know. So, and as we say, you know, when you have learned a lesson and you are successful on the lesson, then a next lesson is waiting for you.
Okay.
And then. And the next lesson is to learn and change about yourself.
So life is a series of lessons.
Yes, we say, you know, in spirituality, life is a school, and we are the student of the school of life, you know. So if I have that, and that is why, if you really want to change, you have to change something in essence, your consciousness.
Okay.
And your consciousness is, at least, I'm ready to change.
Okay.
But the right consciousness is, I am a soul and I'm not a body. That's the seed of change, you know, because that's the biggest shift of change from body consciousness, the wrong identity of thinking that I am a body, to the right identity that I'm spiritual being, the soul, the Atma, you know, which has, and that is why that is why the real change can appear, because when I know the knowledge of the soul, the natural quality of the soul are peace, love, purity, knowledge, positive power. So it means that I am that in essence. My original stage is that. So now, no matter what is happening, no matter what is my activity, I have to act according to my peace, my love, my purity, my knowledge, and my positive power. And if I don't, I know I have to change something.
Right, but you know, you have to have a certain quality of life in order to be able to put all of this into practice. Because if you're not happy with your life and you're struggling to make ends meet, then it's going to be difficult to focus on these factors that you talked about.
Yeah, the thing is, if you are not happy with your life, it's because you haven't learned the lesson. Because, you know, if you learn the lesson about something you are unhappy, then the situation will change.
Okay.
You know, because the situation is there to show you that something is wrong with you.
Okay.
You know, but when you have learned and changed yourself, the situation looks the same, but you are in phase. You have the power to manage it. So it looks like it's normal situation.
Okay.
It doesn't look normal because I don't have the wisdom to deal. But when I have the wisdom and the quality to deal, it's just a situation. Before it was a problem, now it's a situation.
Okay.
No, as usually say, I say, why a situation is a problem or an opportunity? If I have the power to deal with the situation,
right.
is an opportunity.
Right.
If I have the weakness to deal with the situation, is an obstacle.
Right.
You know, when I usually take the example, practical example, two fishermen go take the boat and go to 1 kilometer away from the coast. They fish. In between, storms comes and the boat, dive, you know. And then one know to swim, it's a situation. The other one doesn't know to swim, it's a trouble.
Recently, somebody just brought up this topic that more and more couples these days want to be child-free. There was a time when they wanted to have just one child, and now it is like child-free. That is a change, but would you say this is not a change for the good?
Well, you know, it can be many factors, you know, into it, you know. For example, in France now we have nuclear family. Nuclear family, it means you have a couple, but they have their own flat, their own job, and they have a child. And 1 week the child is with the father, 1 week is with the mother, you know. So, you know, so that is one way, you know. So the thing is, the mentality are changing, and more the individualism is creating more and more strongly, specifically in Western country. But I think in India, you know, from joint family, you know, is maybe less and less. Still, the tradition is so strong. But anyway, but then, you know, child-free can be so many reasons. It can be for reasons of wealth, money. It can be for maybe the parents feel not strong enough to have it and giving good education, not even responsible for it, or maybe they think that my child, you know, in this world of today, a world of problems and complication and difficulty. And, sometimes people say, if I send my child to this school, but in all school, even in private schools, there is always bad guys, and they will be influenced, and then they're afraid of that. And they know it's a reality, drugs, and, there is many things that they try to get money from the child, from other, or they're kicking, or whatever it is,
Right.
So it can be so many reasons. So we have to see properly, what is the reason behind it, But for some, it's good reason, and some they want to be free, and okay, why not? Why not? And there is nothing bad into it, But I will not. It depends what you will do with your freedom. That is the point. If you have your freedom to go to the party and drink alcohol and do
Parties.
all the bad stuff, because then your child is not there to watch, and you can say to your wife, you can move away if you are not happy with me, Obviously, I will say that's not the right attitude.
Right. Thank you, Brother Michel, for this beautiful discussion. And change is such a big word and a deep topic that I'm sure it requires another episode. So we look forward to having you back with us so we can continue this discussion.
Not only one episode, but a lifetime episode.
True, because we are constantly changing.
Every day.
Right. As Brother mentioned today, most of us fear change or are resistant to change because we have not in our mind figured out what is it that we are leaving behind and what is it that we are going to look forward to. So one tip or suggestion he had was to figure out the negatives that you're putting behind and then the positives that you're going to acquire as a result of that change. And that will make this process of change much easier. I hope you found this topic interesting, and there's a lot more coming your way, so stay tuned. And we'll see you again in our next episode. Take care and Om Shanti.